Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to some more Warpforge. And before we get into today's video, I would be remiss if we didn't talk about the elephant in the room, which is that Ultramarines, it's Ultramarine summer. It's maybe Imperium summer, if we want to call it that, with the Sisters of Battle getting a buff, but clearly still not being, tier 1, or at least what I'm just going to call Ultramarines tier 0 at this point. They gained a huge benefit from this reinforcement drop. And I also think that the new Warlord is impressing a little bit more than I originally thought. And I was excited for him, and I thought that he brought something different. And I thought that the ephemeral card that he had was actually pretty powerful. And I think it turns out that all of those things rolled into one has made Ultramarines a huge menace. And of course, we got to talk about the Predator Annihilator, which has been completely format warping, which is not something that I want to say for any card. I felt that at different points about different factions. And I do think that it is going to influence probably the whole rest of the season. But with that said, I wanted to get a Letharius build on the channel. Shrigmamale and I did some chatting this morning. He's been running this build to great effect. I actually have an infantry build that actually I was having a ton of fun with too, and doing fairly well with. So let me know if you'd like to see that as well. It's actually posted in the community Discord as one of my first Letharius builds. But I think Big Boy Letharius, as I'm calling it, and Shrigmamale's kind of signature build at the moment. And I think Marsakis is running something pretty similar. So some really, really top players. And there's a big reason why. So thanks as always. If you got to catch the stream this last week, great. I'm definitely going to be doing more. Make sure everyone gets their Ultramarine drops, because it's always great to give free stuff to the community. So if you stop by, awesome. If you got time this week to stop by, would really appreciate it. And thanks so much for the support. We're at 600 subscribers. That's pretty awesome. We are just that much closer to 1,000. So without further ado, let's just get into it and kind of talk about the menace of the format. We'll skip over the cards we already know are very good. One thing I'll say is actually Primaris Reaver has come up more and more. I really liked it as a sort of answer option when I was playing Calgar and Tigurius. I would say mostly Calgar. I don't know that I always fit it into Tigurius. But I think it functions pretty well here too. Sometimes you'll get the high roll where you get to trade on something that only has one attack, and then you get to attack with your Letharius and then heal your Reaver to trade back again. But let's talk about some of the new cards. Rapid Deployment. This card is still kind of awkward a lot of the time, but sometimes it is just absolutely game breaking. Not a combination I love to say. I would like for cards to have a flatter kind of power curve than one where it's like either broken or it's absolutely terrible. So Rapid Deployment from a design perspective is not something I'm terribly happy about. And I do think you want to play at least one probably in the deck, but I wanted to test two at Shrigmamale's suggestion. So we're running 2 Rapid Deployment. Scout Bike, even with Avenging Zeal, I thought I wanted to play more Firstborn, but actually this thing is a little bit more impressive than it looks. The fact that it gets down to 1 energy off of Battlefield Supremacy is actually a pretty nice thing for codexing purposes, and then also giving an armor with Tech Marine is pretty freaking annoying. And if you get 2 of these on the board and they're not really answerable, it's kind of game over, because 4 damage to every unit coming into play is just not something that most decks can sustain. So Battlefield Supremacy has a lot of support in this deck. Outrider, no surprise, on his amazing bike with his bolters and his chainsaw. This guy does a ton of work. And sometimes if he doesn't die, then you get to trade even more. It's just another excellent flanker added to the roster for Ultramarines. Still running Inceptor, which I think is great. Tech Marine, just an absolute powerhouse card added to the Ultramarines at 3 energy with this new legendary. The heal to 3 to a vehicle is not going to be terribly relevant all the time. But giving armor, this is what I wanted from armored support. Something that works very well, and I'd just rather play Primaris Tech Marine, obviously, because it's a strictly much better card. But he does the work. He repairs the vehicles, does exactly what you want. Cronus, obviously benefiting all your vehicles. Although Invader was nerfed, still just a really powerhouse card. Also, Battlefield Supremacy down to 3 is really, really nice. You have to play 2 Retribution, I think, in this format. And it'll come as to no surprise that that's because you have to be able to deal with the opposing Predator Annihilators. Trying 1 Invictor Warsuit. Shrigmamale had said, maybe try cutting the Librarian, and I think that is the right call. I'm still not huge on this. I've actually liked Land Speeder quite a bit. And even though it only has 4 health, but it's flying, it usually trades pretty well. But Invictor Warsuit can be quite annoying. So I do think that the spot is probably deserved. And then we've got kind of another powerhouse vehicle that came in, which was Storm Speeder Hailstrike. This thing just does work. It allows you to not have to put a slot on, Storm Raven, and being able to deal 2 damage AoE. This is only dealing 1 damage AoE, but this is exactly what you want. It's a Codex trigger that's relevant. It comes down on 6. It's got flying. It's annoying to trade into. It's got a whopping 6 health, so it is going to take a little bit to take it out. And it's punching back for 5. You can heal things up with Letharius. It just operates perfectly, especially alongside Predator Annihilator. You can do so much damage just from Codex triggers, which is part of the issue. Honestly, besides nerfing the stats on this thing and nerfing the Codex, I think probably a better fix for Predator Annihilator is just a different Codex. The fact that this essentially takes the spot, or absolutely takes the spot, of the helicopter on 7 just doesn't make any sense, right? Yes, it's a rare, but this is probably, like, dare I say, the best rare in the game? I mean, this thing is insane in terms of stats and impact. And the Codex, you can Tactical Insight, like, it just, you can win the game off of this card pretty much alone. I just think the Codex should be something different. Maybe it interacts with anti-vehicle. Maybe it's anti-armor. Maybe, I don't know. Like, it's got the las guns. Like, I feel like there's something there where this Codex isn't just blast something for 4. Maybe it's like blast something for 2 damage. If it has armor or it's a vehicle, hit that for 4. And if it's any other unit or warlord, maybe it deals like 2. I don't know. There has to be a fix for this. And I think the Codex is insanely powerful. And then its stats are also just insanely powerful. So taking it down to health, taking the Codex down to maybe 2 damage, or just reworking the Codex altogether, I think that's going to be necessary because this card is just nuts, as most people have already seen. And then we're running Avenging Zeal because we have plenty of Codex. It didn't really... I think 10 energy was conservative on my part. In thinking about how to nerf this card, and that's what they ended up doing in the patch. I think 12 actually would be, you would see this like more around 8 energy, 9 energy more consistently. It's still really, really strong. And again, it's just like you've got a host of tools. You have Avenging Zeal that is, just kind of close out the game. Primaris Tech Marine needs answering. So does Antaro. Your Predator Annihilators need answering. So do your Hail Strikes to some degree. This deck just has everything. And really, Ultramarines at this point have everything. So let's jump into some live games and see how the big boy Letharius does. But so far, it's just proven to be a pretty solid warlord, and really punishes slower decks with your flankers all gaining advantage from trading health and then getting some health back. And and then just whoever gets their predators to stick and all that, we'll see. Oh man, I've not played this matchup in quite a while. Definitely more aggressive. Battlefield Supremacy is really nice. It's also going to discount the Outrider, so I think I'm going to keep these two. I'll throw back the Inceptor Sergeant because I'd rather have some cheap stuff. And I really never go for Dust Storm. Even though they're kind of aggressive, I just would rather play this. Ooh, Fables. Okay. I wonder if this is kind of a meta matchup that they've been running into. I'm interested to see. All right, here, we're just going to draw a card. Not going to attack. No reason to trade health, especially when they're going to be more of the aggressor. This could just be like Zagstruck control, which would be interesting. Now that Gordrang was like pretty much nerfed into the ground. So very, very unfortunate circumstance for our friend there. We're just going to get Battlefield Supremacy going because we get so much tempo from that. And then, yeah, we'll probably just go Impulsor into maybe Tech Marine plus something and then Annihilator, and we'll see how that curve goes. But, yeah, you definitely can get out aggroed as Letharius. So, you know, you're still vulnerable being a 35 health Warlord that wants to trade health to get an advantage. So, you can't be too greedy with him. And here I could make the choice to attack. I'm not going to because they have the 4 energy, deal 2 to 4 damage. And if I'm behind on board again and I'm trading health, I don't love that. But probably after this turn I will. Okay, this looks like a squig buggy. Yep. It's a good way to get rid of that. Yep. And this is a bit awkward. Unfortunately, I think I need to trade 2 attacks into this to clear it because I really don't want to play out anything else. So I think that's when I'm going to... Because this is basically guaranteed to die anyway. So we might as well do that. Hopefully this blows up. Does. That's good. And now we've got a bit of a choice. So we could go Tech Marine into Outrider. I think that is good enough. And then we can slam the Annihilator. They're going to want to deal with either of these anyway. So I think we're going to get the value. And yeah. So we get the armor on the bike, which makes it annoying to clear. And then, you know, this is where rapid deployment's not great. I mean, maybe on like an off turn we'll play it. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of cards like this because it would have been broken maybe turn 1, but now it's not so much. All right. Oh, we're taking some. Oh, maybe they're going to use this just to clear. That would make more sense. Yep. And that's what they'll do. Okay. Not bad from our opponent. And we're just going to slam our Predator. And they could definitely have mucking about. So I'm going to be a little cautious on attacking here. Because once I start, like if I can establish a board presence and start pushing damage, then I'll start attacking. But I really don't want to get too low against orcs because they do have a lot of ways to deal incidental damage and they have ways to heal themselves. So, okay, this is a good sign. If they can't deal with this Predator, that's pretty rough. Okay. Interesting that they chose not to attack here, because I think even with the concussion, I'm going to do that. All right, so we're not quite at Will of Gork yet. We can also discount this. This is 4, 5, 6. And we definitely want a Codex. So I guess the easiest way is just to Sergeant and play our Scout Bike as well. And I'm going to put this over here. Deal the 4 damage. And because I don't know when removal is going to come, even though this is going to get concussed, I'd still rather take the 7 damage. Because now we're very ahead on board. So. Pretty good position. It's going to take a lot for them to be able to answer this kind of board. And that's the thing. Like, Predator doesn't die. It's pretty rough. Yeah, and that's more than lethal, I think. Oh, no, they're right. This is concussed still. But, yeah. Alright, GG Fables. Yep. Yeah, but I will say, like, you know, orcs can actually answer a lot of what Ultramarines do if they have the answer in their hand, right? No mucking about, Scorcher Assault, stuff like that. So I think orcs are still like a decent meta consideration, like if you don't want to play Ultramarines. But yeah, it's still not great when it's like, oh, Tau are insanely powerful. Okay, we can still play orcs because it can answer them. Ecclesiarch and I were actually talking about that. Like, it's not great to have a meta where it's like, here's the meta menace, and then we need orcs to answer it. All right, well, I like my 3/4 here, so I'll keep that. And, all right. Oh, not going to be codexing anytime soon. But, and we're not on the draw, so definitely whenever you're playing the Ultramarines mirror match, and whoever's on the draw is definitely advantaged because they're going to get the Hive Factory, and that's just bad news bears for us, I got to say. because then their Predator could get dropped on 6. If they're running Battlefield Supremacy, which I think most Calgar decks tend to, there's that. But alright, we'll start getting on the board here, and I'll attack because we are going to be the aggressor in this matchup generally. So, see how this pans out. Looks like a point blank. Yep. Okay, so they're kind of running a classic build with some of that early stuff. See if they can answer Cronus.
It's time to scour this battlefield.
And then I guess we'll just go Outrider, maybe draw first, play Outrider, and then we'll go into our flankers. Kind of a weak draw for us compared to what we could be doing, but still curving out decently. Alright, attack, and then I assume some sort of flanker. Oh. That's not how that works. Oh, they did the opposite. They meant to the High Factory first. Oh, no. That is a bit of a bummer. Yeah, I've done that before. I've definitely done it before. Alright, interesting. I mean, I'm definitely got a Spear of McCrag. This is just, it's too juicy not to. And then we can go 3/3 and attack, and then heal. Or rather 2/2. And I can do this on either one of the sergeants here, or the impulsor. Yeah, I definitely want a rapid deployment. I guess it just makes more sense to do one of the sergeants to make it cheaper. And then we're able to attack, and this is honestly probably going to trade here, but I guess I can still fine to make this attack, I think. Okay. Now we've got our impulsor with some armor, which is quite nice. But they're up on tempo. So we'll see. I might draw a card and play Sergeant. Okay. Another impulsor. They're staying on board. Also have double Outrider as an option. I kind of like that better. Because then we can also get like kind of the biggest bang for our buck out of our heal. That seems nice. Let's do that. We're also getting the codexing, which is really nice. And then let's take a you. And then let's go you. And these both get healed. Okay. Not bad. Obviously they're able to clear our board, but got the double codex, which is nice. And got plenty of options next turn. I probably want to draw a card and impulsor, but depends on what they play this turn that we need to answer. But yeah, obviously they'd be much more ahead if they had tactical insighted the correct way. So, oh, that's pretty nice. So yeah, definitely going to play a sergeant. How do I want to do this? 4, 6. Yeah, it's probably best to just play the sergeant and pass. Yeah. So let's just do that. Just use as much energy as possible. And they can obviously still clear, but we're still kind of answering what they're doing. Still a little bit ahead on life, which is good. But if they got Predator here, which they do, they're definitely in trouble. This is how that tends to go. Alright, Tech Marine. Interesting. So we can get double codex triggers if we play that, but then we're not answering this. But okay, so if we play Sergeant, so we can deal 6, which is 5. 6. Yeah, that's definitely not enough. Yeah, we just actually can't really answer this. So give this triple armor, which isn't bad. Maybe go from there, and then try an Avenging Zeal plus Sergeant next turn. So go down to 6. It still might not be enough, though. Yep, this is not good. But I think I prefer to do this. Maybe we can fight our way through. I'm not sure. We don't have the Inspired Retribution. If we did, this would have been so much better. Probably would have just slammed Tech Marine plus that, but we do not have it. But this having 3 armor, and this is the highest stat, or no, this is the highest stat. So this will die first to the Codex trigger. Yeah, it's unfortunate. And then if they trade 7, this takes 4. Yeah, so they could just double attack here. I mean, it soaks some damage for us, I guess. It's like the best scenario. Okay, I'm glad they chose to take 3 instead of attacking melee. Oh no, they actually had to do that to kill it, huh? Okay. Okay. So, play everything and then pump. And that will allow me to trade and take that out, and then trade and take. Yeah, that's probably the best thing I can do.
We must move faster.
And then I guess I'm Avenging Zealing next turn. Yeah, I think so. Okay.
Aim true and strike them down.
Pump. Hit this for 6 or 5 rather. That dies. Trade there. And then I guess I attack here. Sure. Alright, I mean, we're still in it, but we're kind of running out of cards, and it'd be nice if we could see our own Predator or something. But been trading just back and forth. That's interesting. I have not seen this card played much. Company Agent. Okay. I do need to deal with it. Okay. Alright, let's draw a card first. Okay. Alright, well I think in this case I just have to do this. Just deploy that. Play this. Gonna have to trade some health here, which sucks. But it's probably the best thing for me to do. At least this can trade pretty aggressively. Get the Hail Strike. Can draw a card from our ability next turn, but it's not great to be down 4 health and have an even board here. But we did Zeal before them, so maybe we can hang in there. That's pretty good. Taking 2 and stunning. It's not what I want to see. Okay. There's the Retribution. Alright, so we can obviously trade on this and kill it, which is really nice. So this is 7. As far as 11. Yeah, so I guess that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to hope we don't die. That's how that's going to work, I think. One gets the buff. Trade here. But yeah, we could easily be dead here. It's 5 to 7 damage on board anyway. So, but you know what? Close game. It's been a very close game. So, if they have it, they have it. Okay, Executioner takes out the Hail Strike. That's pretty good. Oh no. Okay, good. Alright, we're not dead. Might still be dead essentially, but we're not dead yet. Okay. Well, still not going to do it though. 6, 7, 8. All they need is one trigger to hit me. What's the other option? Oh no, but I'm able to kill one of them. So yeah, that's gotta be. It's gotta be it. Yeah, it doesn't really matter what I do here. Hit that one. Trade my health for that one. They're probably running double death from above, so it's only a matter of time, unfortunately. Oh, and they have the retribution. Dang it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that'll do it. Yep. GG's, GG's. Predator, man. Predator. Alright, well, that was a really close game. That actually did feel fairly good. Alrighty. Let's try and get a game 3 here. See if we can get a win. Wow, this is terrible. I'm just going to ship this all back. Okay. That's what we like to see. Yeah, see if we can get a win. We always like to go 2-1 out of 3 games. Yeah, no. I don't think I'd really ever taken Dust Storm, to be honest. Okay, so we can go Scout Bike. I mean, I really do like drawing a card with his ability when you can. But this is annoying for them to make Grots. And we are trying to out-aggro them, so... But yeah, this is a good matchup because I do think that Orcs are going to be the meta pick to counter Ultramarines a lot of the time. Yep, so they can't make a guy. Battlefield Supremacy. Very nice pull. Heal that, so they have to attack it first. And then next turn, annoyingly, we might not be able to trigger the Codex, but it is what it is. Oh, there's one loss. Yes, we are... Actually, I'm just going to go 2-2, I think. I like drawing a card here. Ooh, that's also nice. I think I'll save that for later, though. So this, mop that guy up, attack, get a little heal. And then from there, the world is our oyster with all of our vehicles. So really, now it's about making sure that we're not overextending, but also not applying too little pressure. So we'll see. Okay. Yep, it's a good time for them. They don't lose much by doing this. Yeah, and I think I am down to just run out the Hail Spear, get a damage, get the Codex going. Not going to attack, obviously, because I don't want to get concussed. And then unless I have a good reason not to, I'm just going to slam the Annihilator next turn. Go from there. So also, they don't have Veteran Stormboy to deal with, my health speed guy. But they could have the 5 energy flanker. But they'd have to trade some damage to do that. Yep, there's the Snazwagon. Okay. Yep. Let's kill that, it explodes, and then they attack there. So they're going to take quite a bit of damage here. Now, there is a consideration to try and play around no mucking about, which is what I was just thinking. Also do a ton of damage if we... So we could go Annihilator... And then insight into the Outrider, because this has 3 health. It's going to be harder to clear to be able to know mucking about. Or we go just double Primaris Invader. But I think I just want to take my advantage here. Get a bunch of damage, and we'll use this because it gets another 4 damage. Really pulls us ahead. We play a unit to try and play around no mucking about. Pretty nuts that we just did 8 damage for free, basically. And we're ahead on board. This is why, like, not only does it not make sense that this card is a rare for all this, but it's just like, this codex is just insane. And now if they don't have monkey about, they're basically dead. Right? It's like crazy. And that's a turn 6. That's a 6 energy predator as well. So it being ahead of curve is pretty nuts. That's 4. And then, okay, double Warbiker press attack. Yeah, they get there. But they've taken 8 damage from that. Okay. So really at this point, even though we're not going to get our codex in here, we can just go kind of wide. And I think I just play both of my vehicles out as well. I don't think there's any reason not to. This here. Sadly, we can't get the Codex trigger, but it's still on 9 health on 7 energy. So, I mean, if they've got Scorcher Assault, like attack, Scorcher Assault plus Gretchen Mob, that could be pretty decent here to try and stabilize. I think you probably need Scorcher Assault here to stabilize, but we'll see what else they have. Okay, Gordrang. Ardshell Gurk, rather. Okay. So we get to pump everything. I think this is just more than enough. So, definitely going to be trading in there. So let's put you here. Pump everyone's ranged attack. And we get to pump the vehicle's ranged attacks twice. So 7. We're going to go like this. And then go like this. And then have lethal. So much pressure. It's really stupid. I mean, the fact that you can remove Predator off the board and it's still done potentially 8 to 12 damage before you've answered it is just crazy. All right, folks. Well, I think we're gonna cut it there. It's fine. You can hate me for this. I do have fun playing with Letharius. I do have fun playing this deck. I understand it is not balanced. But sometimes, I guess, I don't know. I just was really hyped for Letharius, and it feels nice that there's kind of there is a niche for him. I'm still interested if maybe Calgar is still better with this kind of strategy. But I do think Letharius offers something interesting. So, fair to hate me. I'm definitely not going to play this all season, but I do think that this, if someone's like, hey, Tim, what is the best deck to play? Or kind of the best archetype or best faction? This is what I would present to you. Maybe there's some slots that are still kind of flex here. Sometimes Scout Bike feels a little awkward. Obviously, Rapid Deployment kind of feels a little awkward sometimes. But there's just, it feels like the world is your oyster with this deck and with this faction right now. So, this is what I got for you today. Thanks. Big shout out to Shrigmamale for just sharing this list. I asked him ahead of time, is it cool if I do this? Most people are playing against the deck, so I'm sure they've already seen it. But there's this version. There's an infantry version. I think, there's still a lot of viability to that, but I think the Battlefield Supremacy is really an excellent card now with all the support. And vehicles like Hailstrike and Predator Annihilator just give you so much, and you don't have to run stratagems basically at all. So, yeah, thanks as always for sticking with the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.